What is up YouTube, and welcome to this Walking Dead World Beyond video. Apologies for missing last week's video, but I was laid up in bed for a week, but I'm back. We had a very interesting episode this week, learning more about the depths of the CRM, which looks absolutely idyllic, much like the Commonwealth we're seeing in the main series, except the CRM are beyond ruthless in their aims to not only preserve knowledge, but push forward with learning more about the walkers and hopefully a cure. Now, while this episode was, to be honest, largely filler, it may be a bit more than filler as it does push the story forward, albeit a tiny bit. It was very well made and directed by Aisha Taylor, who, despite having done a plethora of work since Friends, I still see her as Joey's girlfriend from that show. Particularly standing out was the scene where Elton and Percy get stuck with walkers who come out of the ground, which absolutely looked terrifying. We catch up with Elton and Percy finally after learning where Silas is last week. Percy is back to his old ways, learning to survive by trying to scam two survivors, or at first we thought they were just normal survivors. It all goes totally wrong as Elton goes in and Percy runs it as he sees the only way to survive is scamming people, but he's injured and Elton is just too much of a kind soul. What I did like was how they fight against these people and end up getting captured. Also a nice callback to reminding us just how clever Elton is, as his walker-resistant clothes are mentioned and, stolen as well. Except later we learn these two people are the kids of the farm leader where Iris and the others are, and due to the fact that Percy tried to scam them, they thought they'd have a bit of fun, which I thought was a really neat touch there. We see Huck again at the CRM boning down, while Hope is on a run, showing us more of the CRM compound. It still just seems bizarre to me that we've got people just doing cardio when there's a whole apocalypse going on. And I think as we come into the end of the entire Walking Dead franchise, we're going to have to get used to that, as it's still even bizarre that the Commonwealth is even a thing. I've read the comics, but still seeing it, on the screen and acted out is just crazy, and the juxtaposition of everything that's going on over in Alexandria is just really weird. Leo is understandably furious that Huck left Felix and Iris out in the wild, but she's been promoted for her success in her mission and is finally back in the good books, the CRM, once again. I would have liked to have learned more about what she did to be such a rebel, but I think that it's implied that she was very much what Hope used to be when she was back in her home there. This conflict of her doing the right thing versus making her mum happy will lead to the inner conflict later when she decides to help Hope. I'm hoping we get some insight into the CRM's rationale soon, as they risk somewhat of a pointlessly evil villain trope when no part of the CRM is safe, just like Ohio. Now, the governor was one of these characters. In the comics, I really liked him, but he was just so ridiculously evil. I know he had the whole thing with his zombie daughter there, but the problem is it was just so over-the-top evil. And I think that villains in a very long time since the governor was on screen have really evolved. We've got Thanos, who did things in the Marvel Cinematic Universe for, he had reasons, but we also have some stunning stuff with Negan as well. Of course, in the comics, he was stupidly evil, but I think that the show has really turned it around with him. I love the scene in one of the recent episodes where he explains the whole satellite station attack many seasons ago and how those people had families and girlfriends, and there's no such thing as black and white, and I'm worried that that's what the CRM is really becoming. Now, I did like the class that Hope was in as a complete contrast to Elton and Percy's storyline and how she dunked on the guy who's into her. She's smart, but she doesn't apply herself, and I found it funny how she knew more than him because of her illicit activities back home. It shows why the CRM are desperate to get her instead of Iris, who was, the good girl. Also, seeing the party where Hope was pretty decent there. Seeing the ingenious nature of the kids. It's a world away from the kids of Alexandria in the main series, who half of them were just little shits. I'm also keen to learn more about Portland. It'll be interesting to learn more about Major General, and I think that is going to be where Rick is. It's going to be weird seeing Rick on a show which just seems so minuscule compared to the main series, but this season does feel a hell of a lot more focused and a world beyond season 1. Get it? I'm sorry. The conflict is moving forward and we are still yet to see Jadis, but I feel like we are ready and heading to a huge crossover and battle across the Walking Dead universe. Hope convinced Huck to actually help and they head off for the farm, but the guard is incredibly suspicious of her as they head out. The farm is intertwined with the CRM, as it was revealed that the creepy danger signs we saw were made by them at the request of the CRM to warn people off of the research facility. It's going to be interesting now to see Huck and Hope at the farm as Percy holds a knife out ready to attack them, as there's some incredibly bad blood there. Overall, it was a great episode, and I loved the monologue about the souls being trapped in the walkers, which is reminiscent of Sadiq, which I didn't actually catch until I saw it on Reddit. But let me know what you think down below of the episode. Are you enjoying it? And I'll be back again on Sunday doing this now that Heels is finished. Please drop a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe with notifications on, and I will see you soon, and goodbye.